Hello everyone, this is Sean Brackley here, and in today's video we will be doing part 1 of episode 7 for Disgaea 4 Plus, or Complete Plus. So without further ado, let's get to the video.
The Blight House. Only the highest level demons who possess the strength of final bosses are permitted to live in the core of the Netherworld. It represents the epitome of violence, where weaklings wouldn't even be allowed to come pick up the trash. The Netherworld president himself stands atop this place.
So this is the Blight House, where the terror that maintains order in the human world is developed.
Huh? It looks different than Hades. This place is, like, on a totally different level.
Well, duh! Only the highest level demons who have mastered the extremes of violence get to live here.
After taking this place down, the president's office will belong to Big Sis. Disgaea will do her best.
Well, my lord, we shall now open the gates to the end of the Netherworld and begin our reform.
I am Valvatores. I have come from the depths of Hades to beat some sense back into this rotten netherworld. Our mission is to usurp the regime. I don't expect you to give in very easily. Go ahead and resist all you want. I shall pin each and every one of you down and teach you a lesson the Hades way. Now, tremble in fear! Oh, they're rather obedient, aren't they? Really are trembling.
This is more than just trembling. This is like...
Disgaea senses a tremendous amount of murderous intent.
The rumbling is coming from the ground. It's the echo of the violence across the land.
The destructive footsteps of 600,000 demons!
As expected of Corruptiment's soldiers, their morale seems to have risen instead of falling in fear from hearing our lord's name.
At least they're motivated.
I thought I was prepared for this, but seeing all this in front of me, it's more intense than I expected.
I know this is just a dream. I'm getting kind of scared. It won't be funny if I wet the bed at my age. I need to be careful.
Big Sis, that's not what you should be worried about right now.
What the?
Right on time. Pretty rule number 6. You shall never make your master wait. And they made it.
Sorry to make you wait, dude. In answer to Lord Valvatores' call, many brave souls have gathered here, dude. About 20 million plebeian demons, about 5 million bourgeois demons, about 1.3 million black blood demons. And then us, about 100 million privies! We're all here to support you, dude! I know I'm in no position to say this, but leave these peons to us and go defeat the president, dude!
You guys... Are you sure that's an accurate head count?
Not at all, sir! I was kind of exaggerating, dude.
Nevertheless, you seem to have an amazing amount of supporters here. This was bound to happen for an eminent leader, but...
This isn't necessary. Using numbers against numbers, this is like war.
You shouldn't chastise them, my lord. They have all gathered here with the dream of taking over the Corruptiment with you.
Then let's hurry so that we can end this madness.
We have no reason to be scared, now that we've got the same amount of force on our side.
Yes! Disgaea's chance of becoming a final boss is dramatically increased!
I think we've got this.
Let's go, everyone! Our only target is the Netherworld President! Don't even think about those other peons!
Thus began the 62nd Netherworld presidential election. The only thing that can win the majority? Power. In the Netherworld, power is justice. That is the one and only rule that must be followed.
Alright, let's get started with stage 1. So as you're going to see, there's going to be quite a bit of enemies on this map. Now, I don't really recommend going for any of those geoblocks or the treasure chests. I mean, if you're overpowered, then I guess, yeah, you can do that, but if you're at the same level as the enemies
Your back
here,
is wide open.
it's probably best just to follow this strategy here.
I can do anything in my
So
dream.
basically what we're going to do is
I can
one
do
of
it.
the most commonly used strategies in this game. We're going to pull
My
our team out of
turn.
the base panel, and we're just going
God,
to let the
bless
enemies
me.
come towards us. So, I don't know
I'll
if you
show
saw
them.
it earlier, but a little past those bouncers, there were some, there were some gunwomen, I guess, maybe some gunmen too. We just want to stay out of the range of those guys. Obviously, we don't want to get hit by them. They can do pretty significant damage, and I think the red panels kind of give them a bonus effect too. So as you see here, the bouncers are going to come here.
Die!
Should be able to make good work out of these guys.
Die!
They can do some good damage. One benefit, I guess, of some of these skills that they use, when they knock people back and off the square that they're on, it'll cancel out any other attacks on those characters, so that can actually work to your benefit. So obviously the first turn you're probably going to take some damage, so you'll want to hopefully your team is strong enough to at least withhold an attack. You can go ahead and use your healer to heal any of those characters up that had some large chunks of health taken off, and then focus on eliminating the 4 bouncers before we move up. So these bouncers, they should be weak to wind and fire.
Here I
If
come!
you have a red skull, that'll help you. Emeasel will also do a good amount of damage. He has access to both wind and fire. If I don't have it in this video, but if you do have the mana to get some of the higher skills, element skills, I guess, do get the Mega Fire, the Mega Wind, etc., and if possible, Giga. The Giga one will obviously, the higher level of the elements you get, the more amount of damage they're going to do, and the more useful they will be for your team. Another thing that you could do is upgrade the basic one, the level 1, and with each level,
Take this!
obviously it gets more powerful, but you also unlock different patterns, so you can actually hit more enemies at once. So I think for level 2 fire, let's say, you can do the 2 diagonal squares rather than just the 1 square, and then level 3 you'll get the 3 squares in a line, and then I believe level 4 is a square. As far as 5 and 6, I haven't really looked into those yet, so I don't really know what those patterns are, but I assume that they're going to be larger ranges. So with a team of 10, you should be good enough to at least wither get rid of most of those bouncers, if not all of them. As you can see here, 2 of them survive. It's not too big of a deal. Obviously, Disco and Cassie are going to need to be healed. Try to take care of now. Take care of these last 2 bouncers. Now things are going to probably start to get a bit hairier when you start to move up. Because once you get so far, you'll pretty much aggro every enemy in on the map. So you want to make sure that you do have a pretty good range of large area attacks. So you're going to want to damage as many enemies as possible. The one good thing is I don't think those succubus do too much damage, so you'll be good there. The Grim Reaper looking things, those are the ones that you want to kind of watch out for. They have special skills and attacks that will take out, they'll steal your SP, and then you obviously steal from see here, the gun getting moved up, and you took out my Red Skull. I use Speed Bullet to get all 3 of my allies there. So, luckily they didn't take out my healer yet, but when you're getting close to finishing off those bouncers, you want to kind of maybe spread out your team, make sure that you're not vulnerable to those kind of attacks. And then as far as taking those gunwomen out, they came to us, so they put themselves in a pretty bad position. They're not very good defensively, and they don't have that much health, so they're going to go down pretty quickly. It does suck that they took out my Red Skull, but it's not that important. And then everything else that they did, I can heal up and undo the damage they did. Gone. So since there's a geo panel on those panels, we want to kind of stay back, and we just want to lure them back to us so that we don't have to deal with any of the enemies being on those panels. So if you have to send somebody forward, just send one and then have them retreat on the next turn, assuming they survive. I think I might have mentioned this in one of the earlier videos, but there seems to be 2 different types of geo panels. One seems to be they take an effect when a block is destroyed on them, and then there's another set of panels where they only take the effect of the block that's on top of them. So if you destroy the block, that effect is gone. So in this one, it looks too cool that it's the one where you set the block on. If you destroy it, it's gone. So if you do have like some sort of opportunity to go up and destroy it, go ahead and do that. I just kind of like to stay safe and hang back here. Obviously this will cause you to spend more time on the level. If you're a little more aggressive, it'll be a lot riskier, of course, but you'll obviously finish the map faster. So we're just gonna retreat back now, and we'll defend, and then that should bring the gunmen towards us, and I believe another set of enemies as well. see everything is basically coming towards us now.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself.
So if you get into, I guess, a position like this, obviously some of the characters are off the panels, but some of them are still on it. If you have to, like, obviously you can't really afford to just sit there and let them take shots at you while you wait for them to get off the panels. So if you have to be proactive and attack them while they're on the panels, I guess go ahead and do that. Right now we do happen to have a few that are out there, the succubus and the gunman, so we'll focus on taking those out. Gunmen, much like the gun women, low health, should be easy to take out. Shouldn't take too much effort. Utilize Disgaea. She has very powerful skills. At this point in the game, I'm not utilizing her well, so I'm just attacking with just doing the basic attack, which is not very good. You really want to use her skills, as they're very powerful. Now the POW male classes, they look like Nekomatas, I guess. Maybe like cat women. You'll want to take those characters out as fast as you can. They can pack quite a punch. Obviously, they're all on the red panels, so I'm kind of hesitant to go up there and attack them. I'd rather just hang back and take out what's near me and off the panels. So did pretty good damage there. We took out one of the succubus and the gunman. However, there's still 3 more left. Plus there's all those other enemies. So if you are struggling with this level, do try to upgrade maybe your equipment. You definitely want to improve your defense, your attack, your INT if you're a mage or using magic. The RES is good for the healers. Using Artina for attack, her speed and hit are what matters for her skills and her, I guess, her attacks. For the healer with the bow, it's attack and hit. So use those to your advantage. You kind of want to be at your best. Obviously, if you start going into these levels with the lower grade equipment, you'll start to struggle. And this is where those large area attacks can come in handy. As you can see there, a lot of the enemies are grouped together. So you can do some good damage to a bunch of them all at once. You'll see me use Valvatores for that, using the Bloody Hole, which can get 1 to 4 enemies depending on how they're bundled up. and be wary of the counters, because if you have guys that are, I find sometimes with the counters, you'll get into like a counter battle, and some of those guys can take some heavy damage. And you'll have a guy that's at full health, and then by the time you end your turn, you'll have maybe like a quarter health or half health, and then somebody can just finish you off there. I've run into some instances like that, especially after you've already made your move with the healer. It can be quite troublesome. Other than that, there's not too much to do on this. Unfortunately, as you watch, you can see I don't really utilize my skills too much. I mean, aside from Valvatorez, maybe a little bit of Fenric and Fuka, but I could have maybe cleared this so much better if I used some skills with like Naricus, Cassie, Desco. And I guess for the future, what I ended up doing was I changed. As you can see, I'm using 2 characters with spears. I kind of switched that up. I kept the spear with Velvatorez, but with Cassie, I switched her to a sword. I felt it wasn't really too... The one drawback with the spears is that they don't really have an attack that can hit multiple people at once. So with Cassie, I kind of decided to make that switch. With Valvatorez, he has other skills, so like Bloody Hole, and then he gains some other ones once he hits like level 80. So I'm fine keeping the spear with him, but switching it with Cassie, it gives me the ability to use like Dark Secrecy, which has a range of 3. And there's some other... Actually, the other ones I think are just single hit enemies, but they're really powerful attacks too, so... Other than that, just keep an eye on your health, heal when need to, and then you should be able to complete this pretty easily. So I'll leave you guys with the rest of this video, and we'll connect back for stage 2.
was easier than I thought. I didn't know how tough they would be, just judging by how scared Emizel was.
They totally weren't worth it.
This just goes to show how close we are to the president's office.
Disco is climbing the ladder to the position of final boss very quickly. Disco is almost there, big sis. Once Disco becomes a final boss...
Don't flatter yourselves, fools! Those were just peons! They're ants compared to Father!
Oh? That sounded like you were bragging about your father.
No. That's not what I meant.
What do you make of this, Fenric?
They weren't peons. They were the President's elite forces.
Indeed. However, they were much too weak. But how can that be? They didn't look like they were going easy on us. Is the condition of the Netherworld really so dire?
They don't seem familiar.
We've been waiting for you, rebels from Hades!
How outrageous of you, a mere Prenny instructor, to oppose the president!
Your actions call for no punishment short of your death. All of you shall be executed right here.
Ooh, these guys seem different than the others.
Hell yeah, they do! They're the three brutes of the Netherworld! I didn't think we'd see them so soon!
The three brutes? They sound pretty tough.
They're not just pretty tough, they've punished more humans than anybody! They're the symbols of fear in the human world! Silos of Thunder, the atrocious Trollmayor, Altus of Despair! Together, they are the three brutes of the Netherworld!
So they're like the five something something. Do they have their own kids show?
No way! They aren't anything like that!
Miss Fuka, is it? You seem rather calm in the face of such strong enemies.
Just call me Fuka. And what's to be scared of? Strong or not, this is all just happening in my dream.
Pardon me? In your dream?
Big Sis still hasn't accepted that she died, and believes that everything that's happening is part of her dream.
Okay, I see. Interesting. And you?
Disco is a final weapon that was created by humans. She's just a girl who aspires to someday become a final boss.
What a wonderful dream. Oh, Lady Archangel, I may have chosen the wrong kind of people to align myself with.
The three brutes, huh? Well, there sure are a variety of people these days.
They're juveniles who earned some points during your absence. It's only natural that you don't recognize their faces. However, I can't accept the fact that these whelps are arrogantly strutting around in your presence, my lord.
Then we shall teach those youngsters a lesson on how to fight a real battle!
Okay, here we are at stage 2. So what I'm going to do here is a lot of... I found that there's a long bit of setup on this map, so... And this one did take a bit longer than it usually does for a lot of the other levels. So what I decided to do was to get the video length down to keep it under an hour. Actually, I don't even know if I kept it under an hour. Let's see. No, it looks like it goes a couple minutes over an hour, like an hour and 9 minutes. So I wanted to try to get it as low as possible. So I decided to speed up bits where I'm not really doing anything. So while we wait for everything to get to, I guess, relevant parts, this is one of those maps where the Geo panel does what the effect on the color is based on the block that's on it. Unfortunately, I didn't know this at the time when I was filming this. So what I did was I was destroying them, and then, of course, I would be figuring out that there was no effect on play here. And so I wouldn't really say I had to beat it with a disadvantage, but I had to beat the level without... I could have had an advantage, let's just say that. So yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of those panels. Just throw them onto whichever color you're working on currently. There is one for increasing the range of your magic attacks. I do recommend using that at least for the first two. When you're done on the red, or what's teal now because I destroyed that geo block, I recommend leaving that there because the third section has mages, of course. So you don't want to give them an advantage. So leave that one there. You can always bring the attack percentage one up with you. And I can't recall what the other one was. So basically all we're doing right here is we're getting our team up, and basically we're going to get up to that chokehold, and we're just going to hold that spot. We're going to let the spear guys up there come to us. The warriors as well, they'll come to us as well. What you'll want to do here, you want to, when you get your mages involved, keep them probably like 2 squares back. What you'll want to do is put your low range characters at the front, so like Fenric or Fuka, any sword, fist, axe kind of characters at the front. Right behind those guys you can put any of your spear wielders because they can attack, they have the extra square of range, so that is quite useful there. And then anybody else who can attack with ranged attacks, Desco, your red, blue, or green skulls, if you have any of those, Amizel, your healer, keep them back behind those guys, and you can just attack from the distance when they come up to you, kind of like that. So what you're going to see here is I'm actually going to move a bit forward, and I'm going to hold... I'm going to pretty much hold the line. So you're going to have one guy in the blue fighting the spear guys, and then one guy on the green fighting the warriors. Now obviously I mentioned the thing about the spears being one back. Obviously this is another instance where I don't really do what I say. It's pretty much something I picked up over time, so this was dumb me playing. Future me just looks in disappointment. Alright, so the enemies, they can tend to move around a bit, so you could have the spear guys on the green as well as warriors on the blue or the red. Basically, you'll see what you could do is you can kind of, at least with the first section, you can maybe start moving forward a bit because you can have, if you have the short range guys at the front, you can move your spear guys up I think as well. There's not really too much room for them to go around you, so you can go ahead and do that. You're going to see here I make a huge mistake by moving my mages up. They're actually going to get hit by some enemy using one of their skilled attacks, and I believe I lose both of them. So that's definitely something that you don't want to repeat. Another thing that you could use to take advantage if you haven't figured it out yet, I know I haven't mentioned it, but attacking combos. So say you have a bunch of enemies around and you're using your characters to attack one guy. Use them all to attack the one guy first, and then 'cause the more if you do one attack after the other on the same character, it starts to build up a combo and the damage increases. So you can get some extra bonus damage there. If you attack one character and then have another character attack a different character and then go back to the other character again, or the other enemy, it doesn't keep that combo going and you don't get that bonus damage, which can save you in some hairy situations, I guess. The team attacks do some extra damage as well, so those are worth trying to accomplish as well. There's actually a kind of cheese method to kind of abusing the team attacks, which I will go over at some point, because the final boss of this game is very difficult to beat. I did manage to beat it without the cheese method once, but it looks like that was kind of luck. But either way, I'm going to show both versions of that fight, but that's down the line. So for now, we just focus on clearing this first area. At some point, once you get the spear guys taken out, obviously you can see there's some warriors out there in the distance and some bouncers. Those guys don't appear to move, so once you've cleared this kind of area, you can send a small group forwards to take out those bouncers on the blue area, which will be red for you, assuming that you don't make the same mistake I did with the geoblock. And then you can send a larger team onto the green to take care of the bouncer and those 3 warriors. And obviously the one on the warrior on the right, upper right, is a promoted version, so he's going to be stronger. So there's not really any sort of tricks to at least these first 2 sections. It's pretty straightforward. Just sit back, wait for them to come to you, overwhelm them, destroy them, move on. Things will maybe get a bit complicated once you get to the mages. They are obviously very dangerous. They can shred through a lot of the characters pretty easily. So, another thing you'll notice is the bits that I speed up, I've turned the volume off on those just because, I mean, it's kind of annoying listening to music and sounds moving at a higher speed. so I just decided to take the sound off for those small bits, and then the sound returns when everything goes back to real time, which is mostly the fighting parts. A lot of the moments that I speed up are kind of just like the moving into positions and the things that you're not really, you don't really need to sit there and wait for. I know it takes a long time. A lot of these levels is just moving around. So I don't know if those bouncers move forward at any point. They may when you get close. It's also possible they don't move at all. I think they probably move when you get close to them, but I know I get like right up in their face in this video. Eventually. If you do have trouble with this map, like the previous one, I suggest making sure you have upgraded equipment. Make sure your characters are at a level that's near the enemies. As you can see, there's a couple enemies that are characters I have that are below the enemy's level. Martina's like level 44, Cassie's 41. Ideally, you kind of want those closer to 50. Obviously, for your healing and characters and whatnot, it's a lot more difficult to level them up as they're not really doing any of the killing. So at this point you can start, I guess, moving your characters up. I know I kind of keep my guys back a little bit longer. One of those warriors came up to us, but the other one didn't really. He's kind of still chilling at the back. A lot of these characters we have are kind of in the back and they're not really doing anything, so it doesn't hurt to be a little aggressive here and start taking them out. At this point, I'll pretty much just leave you guys with the video. I'll bring up some pointers and stuff like that once we get to the area with the mages, but from now on we're just kind of slowly moving up, taking out these enemies, and obviously it's going to take a bit, and there's no reason for me to blab on. Okay, so now we're heading towards those mages. So what you're going to see here is as I move closer, one of those mages is actually going to come near us and he will attack us. It's obviously not ideal. We don't really want to take damage, but it seems like it was unavoidable. Actually, maybe it was avoidable. Because like I mentioned before, I'm wasting the time with the geo block just so I can, destroy it and lose whatever advantage I was going to get. So as you saw there, we took a casualty. So what you want to do is you want to kind of close the gap as quickly as possible. They don't really have too much health. So if you can manage to attack them with 1 to 2 characters at least each, you can probably take them out pretty quickly. Even if you're using one character, you might be able to take them out with just one skill. So we're going to take, I believe, a bit more in terms of casualties, unfortunately. So what we're going to look to do is we're going to start moving into the purple. There are some other characters up on the ledge. As you can see, there's 2 bodyguards up there. I mean, one other strategy you could try is perhaps going towards that area from the other side. Because as you see right now, we're kind of being attacked by mages from 2 different sides. So if you maybe head from the left first rather than the right, you can just deal with the bodyguards and the one mage, and then you can deal with the other ones later on. But either way, it's going to work out. We're going to take advantage of the bloody hole, and we'll take out 2 of them there. We'll be able to... I think Fuka's able to injure one. She doesn't take it out. No, she does take it out. So at this point, we kind of get into a little bit of a cat and mouse situation. We're trying to run up and kill those enemies, but they're going to kind of run away from us. At this point, it's not too much of a big deal. Obviously, if you can attack from a distance, do that. See if you can get enough people to take out that bodyguard at the top. On my next turn, I will be able to injure him, but he's going to run away. So we'll slowly move up the stairs, then onto the ledge, and basically we'll just do whatever attacks we can from a distance and try to take them all out. Obviously, you want to prioritize, if you can, the mage. Obviously, they will do the most damage from a distance, and you want to avoid that. But if they're not within range, but the bodyguards are, feel free to just take out those bodyguards. Other than that, there is not much left for the stage. It's pretty much just taking out those 3 enemies. So I'll leave you with the rest of the video before we say our goodbyes.
This is ridiculous! How could we, the 3 brutes, lose?
Now do you see? It's rather ludicrous for you weaklings to identify yourselves as brutes.
Lord Valvatore's absence is the only reason you were able to ascend to your positions as the top 3. Now, learn your place.
And you should know one more thing. Death the Measle has made a triumphant return from the depths of his own demise.
That glowing skull. You are...
That's right. My name is Measle. Death Measle.
This is unbelievable. However, there's no mistaking that skull mark.
Ooh, this positive reaction is a first. So you guys admit that Measle is alive?
No. This is all wrong.
Wrong? How?
Sir Measle is known for being a wimp, despite the fact that he's the son of our great president of the Netherworld.
He couldn't possibly be some chivalrous guy who would join rebels from Hades and defeat us, the 3 brutes of the Netherworld!
No! This means...
It looks like your strength is now the main factor for doubting your identity. Not everything will go as you plan in life.
Nevertheless, it is all because you've grown, and that is a good thing.
But so is not!
Because of all your effort to get stronger, you still aren't being acknowledged. What a waste of time.
No!
Wasting time and effort is the worst waste of all. But that's only if you give up now.
That's right, Rascal. Nothing is considered a waste until you give up on it. No matter what anyone else says, don't worry. Just keep fighting until you receive your father's approval.
Really? So I shouldn't let this get to me? All right. Until everyone admits that I'm Measle, I'll keep proving it to them. I am Measle! Death Measle!
There's no point in shouting that out here. Feel free to do that as much as you like when you're in front of your father.
Oh, I thought that only harmful words came out of your mouth. But I guess you can be nice too.
In what way could that have been taken as nice? Your ears must be rotten.
Disco heard it too. I know you can do this now. It was that type of thing.
He's a tsundere. I've never seen one in real life before.
Is this true, Fenric? You approve of me?
What? Absolutely not.
Looks like our team is tighter than ever. We have no reason to stand still now. Come on!
My lord, this is a mistake. I didn't intend to. I'm not a tsundere.
And that will do it for the end of this video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. If you do like the content and would like to see more kind of stuff like this, go ahead and like or subscribe. This is Sean Broccoli. I'll see you guys next time.